So the bike is unlocked for top speed, so it can go as fast as the motor can possibly carry it, 29 miles an hour. And again, that's uphill with me providing a decent amount of power here. 11-tooth inner cog really is gonna make a huge difference. Hey everyone, JT from Ebike Escape here, and in today's video we're going to show you the differences between the old XP 2.0 and the all-new Lectric XP 3.0, and stay tuned until the end of the video where we will do a side-by-side race up a hill to show you the speed difference between the two. So let's get into it. Before we get into today's video, I just want to ask everyone, if you are looking to purchase an XP 3.0 or any electric e-bike, please consider using the link down in the description. Any purchases made through those links helps directly support Ebike Escape and help us continue to make content like this. Also linked down in the description, we'll have links to our e-bike accessories list, our top e-bikes brands page, as well as our e-bikes discount codes page. And since the season is upon us, we also have created an e-bikes Black Friday sale page. We're super excited here at Ebike Escape to show you guys some of those deals, because some of even the sneak peek deals have been pretty awesome. But without further ado, let's compare these two models and show you what's different between the all-new XP 3.0. Before we get a closer look at the all-new 3.0 versus the 2.0, I just want to kind of explain how Lectric went about this release. So it was really kind of cool. So they had a media day where they had Ebike Escape, me, and a whole bunch of other creators kind of come out, and they showed us the 2.0s versus the 3.0s, gave us really a hands-on look, showed us around their facility, and really kind of helped us get a feel for their outlook on e-bikes and micro-mobility, as well as show us what they changed on the 3.0 versus the 2.0, and really give us some reason as to why they did that. So it was really a kind of a cool event to go out there and meet some of the folks at Lectric, hear some of their input, as well as hear some of the blood, sweat, and blown up controllers, as they put it, that really went into designing the 3.0. So we're really excited after that event and getting our hands on a 3.0 back here in Wisconsin to really give you guys a close look and to show you guys everything that's new about the 3.0. But if you're looking for a full review, we'll put the link up here in the corner. I'm probably pointing to the wrong corner, so I apologize. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and let's get a closer look at this bike and show you what they changed between the 2.0 to the 3.0 and really what they upgraded, because there is some pretty big changes to this e-bike that really are going to make it quite awesome. I've had a lot of fun riding it, so let's show you guys. So starting off just visually, there's not a lot of differences between the two bikes. A couple things that might stand out to you is that on the old 2.0, the rear rack was a bolt-on and only had a max rating of 35 kilograms, whereas the new 3.0 actually has a welded on an integrated rear rack. And with this installation of the rear rack, they said they also beefed up some other components. And what that yielded them was to allow them to have a rear capacity of 150 pounds. And if you also notice on the back here, there's a Thule Yepp Maxi cage window on there. And that is probably one of the things that we are the most excited about. One of the other cool things that Lectric is releasing with the 3.0 is a whole lineup of new accessories. And included in that new group of accessories is a rear passenger package. And what that rear passenger package includes is a set of pegs that replace these nuts down here for your feet to go onto, as well as a padded seat and a handlebar system that mounts to the rear of the seat. I'll go ahead and throw a couple pictures up on the screen, as well as show you up a couple pictures. When we were out there for the media day, Robbie and Levi rode 2 up on an XP 3.0. It was a really cool thing to see, but so they really have a lot of faith in their rear frame design. Now, one of the other visual things that you may notice that's different on this bike is the seat. So this Lectric branded seat is more of a regular bike style seat. It's not super padded. It's a little sleeker of a design, but man, I have to tell you that this seat is super comfortable. It's really padded. And if you look at it compared to the old seat was a foam leather, and it's a little bit softer, also a little bit bigger. And this sleeker design really just adds to some of the visual appeal of this bike, and also a little bit of the different design aesthetics they have going on the down tube. So with this bike though, the two colors that are going to be optioned are going to be black and white. They're not going to go in the sandstone or any of the full color blues like they did on the XP Lite. But what they did is they added a little bit larger style graphics here, as you can tell. And if you look at that compared to the 2.0 where it just says Lectric and then has a couple lines, this is definitely a larger graphics package on here, and it really helps set the 3.0 apart a little bit more. Working our way up to the handlebars, one of the other big changes was in the grips. And so these grips are actually a lot softer of a durometer, which is how they rate the hardness of rubber. Just makes your main touch point on the bike so much softer and feel a lot nicer. We do wish that these were locking, but man, these softer grips really make all the difference. And if you look at it compared to the old 2.0 over here, these are a lot harder of a rubber and they just don't have as much squish or give. They were still ergonomic style grips, but just doesn't have the same softness that they have now on the 3.0. Other than that, everything else up here in the cockpit is the same. Coming down to the front end, the next biggest upgrade is in the front fork. The front fork has been upgraded from a 40mm to a 50mm front travel fork, as well as upgraded the front rotor size from 160mm to 180mm. So what that's going to allow you is a little bit more stopping torque on the wheel to really help slow the bike down. But they did keep the mechanical disc brakes on here. So while we would have loved to see hydraulic disc brakes, for the price point that the Lectric XP 3.0 comes in at, you just really cannot argue with that. And that is another big point that I really just want to jump out here for a second, kind of talk about. With the 3.0, Lectric has decided to keep the pricing exactly the same. So $999 is going to be the same price for the 3.0 as it was for the 2.0. When Levi was talking to us at the media day, we did kind of ask him a little bit about that. And what he kind of said was that the 3.0 is quite a bit more expensive to make, as you can tell with the extra paint that they've kind of done, the larger fork and things like that. But they really did want to just invest in making a affordable, high quality electric bike. And coming in at that price point was really important to them. It was really cool to see that they were able to stick to that $999 price point and offer you such a high quality and upgraded bike. So let's jump back in here and talk about some of the other differences. So one of the cool things is that this bike does have the same down tube design as the 2.0. So all of the batteries that fit the 2.0 are going to work with the 3.0. So your batteries from your 1.0, 2.0 are all cross compatible to the 3.0 and backwards compatible, which is really cool. So if you were, say, a purchaser that had a 14 amp hour battery that they purchased, you can easily fit that within this frame and get that. So this is a long range version, does have a 14 amp hour battery in here. So we'll just keep that in mind when we get to some of the riding footage at the end. Both the 2.0 and the 3.0 have 14 amp hour batteries. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, but just something to keep in mind. As we move down, we have the same tried and true pedals and front gearing that we grew to love. And then coming back here to the rear of the bike, this is where the changes really start to show. Lectric decided with the 3.0 that they wanted to increase the ability for their riders to travel at a little bit higher of a speed. So what they did to achieve this was they did two things. First thing they did is they changed the controller inside of the down tube from a 18 amp controller up to a 20 amp controller. And the way they describe that is it's a fire hose versus a garden hose, which I think is a great description. So what they did is they increased the amount of amperage that the controller is able to put out from the battery to the motor. So it really allows you to provide more power with the same size motor and get more acceleration. And then coming back to the motor from the controller, the next thing they upgraded was the actual motor itself. So it is still a 500 watt nominal motor, but the torque that it puts out at 500 watts is 55 Newton meters versus the 35 Newton meters that the 500 watt on the 2.0 put out. That's a pretty big jump in power, and we're really excited to kind of show you some side-by-side riding footage so that you'll be able to see that for yourself. And then getting a little bit closer here, the next big change, which this is probably the change that I was the most excited about when we were at the media day riding these bikes, is that they changed from a 14 to 28 tooth rear freewheel up to an 11 to 28. And what that allows you to do is really put in a lot more human power when you're at that higher speed. And a little spoiler for you, I was able to get up to somewhere close to 30 miles an hour before I was anywhere near ghost pedaling. So man, this rear gearing really sets this 3.0 apart and really makes it a lot more of a fun commuter style e-bike to ride. And one thing I forgot to mention about the 3.0, about the rear passenger package, something that Lectric decided to do with this integration of the rear rack with Thule Yepp window and passenger package itself, was they added a passenger mode to the actual settings in the control. So what that allows you to do is maybe maintain your acceleration and other things like that, but it caps your top speed at about 10 miles an hour. So it's a really cool feature because, you know, sometimes when you have a little one or a passenger on the back, you don't want to be cruising around at 20, 25 miles an hour. And so for them to limit the total amount of power is really nice to see. It's definitely a nod to safety that Lectric definitely keeps in mind when designing their e-bikes. Another thing that is actually going to become standard on the 3.0, and Lectric is also going to put standard across all of their models, is within the wheels and tires and tubes, they're actually going to start putting slime in for free. That was an optional upgrade that Lectric had on their website as something you could opt for. But what Lectric decided to do is that in an effort to make riding your bike as fun and easy as possible and accessible as possible, they're just going to start including slime in all of their wheels. So it's nice to see them take that little bit extra step to kind of keep all of their bikes out on the road and riding. That pretty much wraps up the comparison between the 2.0 and the 3.0 as far as physically showing you what's different. I'm excited to show you some of the riding footage here. Little bit of a spoiler here, the throttle only performance of the 3.0 is only marginally better than the 2.0, but when we jump into the pedal assist levels, the pedal assist comparison between the 3.0 and the 2.0 are huge. Being able to pedal up to 25, 28, 30 miles an hour with a little bit of extra effort is awesome. So with that out of the way, let's jump to some riding footage to show you the difference between the 2.0 and the all-new Lectric 3.0. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start the comparison portion of this video. So in this part of the video, we're gonna try and compare the 2.0 versus the 3.0 and ride it up this hill. This is not the same hill that we test all of our bikes on. This is a different hill, but I will put the specs for it on the screen. If you go and try and compare it to our XP 2.0 video, you're gonna have differences in speed overall because one, it's a different hill, and two, I am not Ryan, I am a different rider. So I come in at about 215 pounds, and Ryan comes in at about 150 pounds. So let's go ahead and start the throttle only part of this hill run. What I'm gonna try and do is play the two clips side by side so you can really see the differences between the two. So I'm gonna try and start roughly at the same place as far as throttle goes so you can get a good, accurate comparison of how much more powerful the 500 watt motor on the XP 3.0 is. So we're gonna start right here next to the sign where it says no local deliveries. We're on pedal assist 5. Again, I'm not gonna pedal at all. I'm just gonna give it straight throttle and see how it makes it up the hill. So we're gonna start the test in 3, 2, 1, go. And here we go, we are approaching 11 miles an hour, 13, 14. So it does look like the speed and my GPS unit are the same. This is a different app than what we normally use, as I have an iPhone, whereas Ryan has an Android. So the bike is unlocked for top speed, so it can go as fast as the motor can possibly carry it. This is the same phone mount that we use on all of our tests. It is the Night Eyes Raptor. Looks like this bike may have a 20 mile per hour-ish limit for throttle only, but I promise you when we get to the pedal portion of this video, that is not the case for that. There's a couple small hills on this route before we get up to the main upwards portion. And again, should also note, I have both tires on the bikes pumped up to 30 PSI, as well as have the front suspension locked out, so excuse some of the bumps. There we go, it's holding us at about 19 going up the hill here. Again, no pedaling, and I am a much larger rider than Ryan. I come in at about 220 pounds, where Ryan comes in at about 150 pounds. 13, 12, 11, 10. And here we'll note this yellow sign and see what the speed is at this part of the hill. So it's about 8 or 9 miles an hour. So we're at about 10 miles per hour now. It is still continuing to drop. This is a very steep hill. I can tell you, I've pedaled up this hill many, many times. It doesn't feel like it's slowing down quite as much. It's really holding us at about 8 or 9, whereas I remember the other bike at this point was probably close to 2 or 3. It's really gonna be contributed to that extra torque. Again, speed is still low, 6, 7 miles an hour, but we're still going, and that extra torque is really gonna do it. Again, they're both 500 watt motors. However, the Newton meters of torque that each motor provides, this one on the 3.0 now provides 55 Newton meters, whereas the old one provided 35 Newton meters. All right, so it looks like our minimum speed there was somewhere around 6 or 7 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and head back down the hill, and we'll see what this bike is capable of coming up the hill, pedal assist. All right, back down at the bottom of the hill now. Let's go ahead and start the pedaling portion. So we're gonna go up the exact same hill, and this time we're just gonna pedal. So we're in pedal assist level 5. Let's go ahead and give it just a little bit of throttle to start out and get going. Upshift, and I am now in 7th. And I am pedaling. Now this is the test where I really expect the 3.0 to put some length on the 2.0, as that 11 tooth inner cog really is gonna make a huge difference when you're pedaling. I am kind of ghost pedaling at this point. See my legs moving? I'm still able to provide my own power, even at this speed of 29 miles an hour. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit more power here and see what we're getting up to. So 26, 27, and again, that's uphill with me providing a decent amount of power here. So I am working, but again, able to maintain 21, 22, 21 miles an hour. Again, no throttle at this point. This is all motor assisted power going up the hill. So here we go. Hill's really starting to start now. Go ahead and shift down to 6th. And go down to 5th here. Again, still able to provide good amount of power, really showing you what that motor is capable of. Here's that yellow sign we kind of use as a speed point. 13, where's the GPS at 11, 12. Here we go. Making up the hill, looks like we're maintaining 12-ish miles per hour. That's pretty good. On throttle only, was it 7 or 8? Makes up the hill with just a little bit of effort. There you go, that motor is working at about 10 miles an hour again, but our minimum speed looks to be about 8 miles an hour there at the top, whereas the minimum speed on throttle alone was somewhere in the 2 to 3 miles per hour. And the hill now is ending. Let's go ahead and jump onto the 3.0. Yeah, so there we go. I mean, that just shows you what this bike is capable of. Again, I'm just gonna kind of ride the bike now around and just kind of show you, start pedaling with a little bit more power. I mean, 29, 30, and I'm still able to provide my own power with pretty, like I said, pretty minimal effort. So go ahead and head back to being in front of the shop, and we'll kind of go through some concluding thoughts on the XP 3.0 versus the XP 2.0, and we'll also go through some of the results. I hope that that side-by-side riding footage there was really able to show you that the 3.0 has not only been upgraded in motor performance, but also that that rear gearing really makes a big difference when it comes to pedaling. While the 2.0 is a great bike, the 3.0 has just been upgraded on a lot of facets that make it really a nice e-bike. The extra torque really showed itself in the throttle only test up the hill, where the 2.0 got down to about 0 to 2 miles an hour, and the 3.0 was able to maintain about 6 to 7. And then when we got into the pedaling, I know it may look like the 3.0 started way ahead of the 2.0, but really the speeds that the 3.0 were capable of achieving and pedaling just put it that far ahead in the video. If you go back and look, both bikes start at the exact same time. And the overall speed that the 3.0 was capable of carrying up the hill at a leisurely cadence was somewhere in the 11 mile an hour range, whereas the 2.0 was somewhere in the 7 to 8. So that just couple miles an hour, and that was on a worst case scenario hill climb test. Again, like I said, while riding, that hill is pretty steep. Having to try and pedal a normal bike up that hill is quite the workout. As well as after I got to the top of the hill, I was able to pedal the 3.0 to a speed of about 30 miles an hour. And again, I am a bigger rider, so if Ryan or somebody smaller gets on the bike, that motor is going to be able to provide you enough power to get up to that faster speed a lot quicker. One last thing before I let you go, if you are looking to purchase any Lectric XP 3.0, please consider using links down in the description. As well as if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to our channel. These are the type of videos we like to make. If you have any other recommendations for what you would like to see from the 3.0, please leave those comments down below. And with that out of the way, we'll see you guys in the next one.